All right, today, what do we have on the More Coastal channel? We have More Coastal, or CJ Coastal, or CJ, whichever one you choose to call me. Did y'all hear that voice crack? Reacting to Fallout lore. I don't think I've seen anyone do this and just give their personal opinion and take on what it would be like to be in Fallout. So today we're going to go over the 11 creepiest vaults of Fallout. And honestly, this is one of those ones where I really want a lot of interaction. So please comment below how you would feel out of these 11 vaults. Or tell me more lore stuff that you would want to go over. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to react to a lot of this. And I'm probably going to tell you my personal opinion and be like, hey, that sounds like a W. I don't have a problem with that. Or B, bro, get me the hell out of there. So this one is a video from Gamespot. It is called the 11 Creepiest Vaults Fallout. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a listen, and then we're going to see how we would feel about these 11 vaults.
In the post-apocalyptic world of Fallout, danger lurks around every corner.
This is
Whether
true.
it's a deathclaw ripping you to shreds or a fiend taking pot shots from some grimy hidey hole, there are seemingly a million ways to die in the wasteland. However, these ways are nothing compared to what happened to Fallout's Vault Dwellers. Built by Vault-Tec to save the human race from the effect.
Okay, we all are in agreement that Vault-Tec is like horrible, right? Like Vault-Tec is cool because they created like this seeming paradise under the ground once the world ends. So it's kind of, man, I can go so deep into it, but regardless, Vault-Tec's horrible.
Effects of nuclear war.
Or do you
only
think they're not?
A very small portion of these
What do you
shelters
think?
were actually safe. The rest subjected their inhabitants to cruel experimentation, and the evidence left behind can be tough to stomach. Now we're taking a dive into Fallout's creepiest vaults and uncovering the gruesome stories that lurk within.
What's the creepy one? That is so loud on my headphones.
The first vault on our
Holy.
list is an honorable mention. It never actually appeared in the games, but was the subject of a webcomic created by the folks at Penny Arcade, horrifyingly titled One Man and a Crate of Puppets. Vault-Tec, apparently having run out of non-Goosebumps-inspired experiments, decided to throw one singular dude into a vault with nothing but a crate of puppets to keep him company. The
Bro, what the fuck?
comic follows his descent into madness as he keeps himself busy by talking to his puppet friends. The puppets are mostly harmless manifestations of his fractured psyche. That is, except for the Vault Boy puppet, whose urges seem a little more violent. The comic concludes that the vault was a failure, but notes that the vaults were never meant to save anyone. Let's keep that in mind as we move on to our next one.
That's
Vault
crazy.
12 was a fairly cut and dry experiment. What would happen, the genius scientist at Vault-Tec wondered, if humans were exposed to intense levels of radiation? Would it be bad, maybe? In order to uncover the answer to this deeply mysterious question, Vault-Tec constructed Vault 12 so that the door wouldn't close properly, allowing radiation to flood the vault. Vault 12 was, according to Vault-Tec's hard-working marketing team, built with every amenity in mind for the prospective vault dweller. Every amenity, that is, except a door that couldn't be forced open by the terrified people stuck outside. Those that survived the onslaught of radiation were subjected to the ghoulification
They turned
process.
into ghouls.
Many would later leave the shelter, but those that chose to stay formed the city of Necropolis right there under the ruins of Bakersfield, California.
Hey.
Vault 106 is another banger of an experiment. The brain geniuses on the Vault-Tec science team had another burning question. What happens to a person after prolonged exposure to psychoactive drugs? The results may surprise you if you've never been to a Grateful Dead show. As part of the experiment, psychoactive drugs were released into the vault's air filtration system just 10 days after the door was sealed. The vault's overseer was aware of the experiment and instructed personnel to lie to vault dwellers who approached them with complaints. The psychoactive drugs began causing many residents to grow disoriented, delirious, and ultimately violent. Though the overseer ordered a lockdown, it was too late. The vault security personnel were overrun. Vault 106 can be found in the Capital Wasteland if you feel like seeing this particular horror.
I mean, hasn't the, like, what is it, MK Ultra? Would that be considered a psychoactive drug? Right? I know it was used for like mind control and shit, but it's like, well, psychoactive, probably not necessarily mind control. It just probably made them just like lose their minds. Like, why would you even want, like, okay, my whole thing was if the overseer knew about this, bro, how how terrified could that person have been? You know what I'm saying? It's like I have an idea of like I know what's going on, but I'm supposed to keep these people tame and keep them and keep lying to them. I mean, I guess like at that point though, it's like everyone loses their minds together, but it's like eventually it kind of reminds me of what was that like Creepypasta? It was like the Russian sleep experiment or something from like World War II or something. That's kind of what that sounds like. It sounds terrifying, like absolutely horrible.
But don't be surprised if you see some other stuff too. There was no one left to shut down the psychoactive drugs, so they're still pumping away through the vents.
Yeah.
Vault 87 is another Capital Wasteland vault located just northwest of the Little Lamplight District. If you've ever been frustrated squaring off against super mutants and centaurs around these parts, just know that Vault 87 is to blame. The vault was used to discover the effects of forced evolutionary virus, or FEV, on humans, with the research being helmed by Dr. Wayne Merrick for his evolutionary experimentation program. The purpose of this program was to figure out a way to turn American soldiers into super mutants. The first step of this was practicing on hapless vault dwellers. The experiment seemed to go well at first, for the scientists, obviously not their unwitting test subjects. But after just 2 weeks, the majority of the vault dwellers needed to be terminated after experiencing debilitating anxiety and rage due to FEV-caused mental changes. Vault 22 is the plant one.
I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. First of all, Vault 22 is terrifying. Second of all, like that one to me is like crazy because it's like it made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it made sense. But it's like they didn't actually test it on anything but like people initially. Like for Vault 87. They didn't actually like, it was kind of like, okay, well, we could have done some more field tests, you know what I'm saying? But they just tested it right away on people, and they didn't do it on like the mutation of plants or something else, you know what I mean? Like they just went straight to people. So there is no, I guess, amount of field testing to collect enough data to see what needed to happen. You know, and maybe there was, but like it just straight up didn't work because we know that the FEV just straight up failed. So I'm actually really interested to learn more about that one. But regardless, terrifying. Every time I play Fallout 3 and I have to go in there, I'm always like, fuck. I'm like, bro, here we go. Like, here we go, man.
In theory, this particular...
Shout out to Fox, though. Fox is a W follower. I should make a follower tier list or companion tier list. I'm gonna write that down.
Their vault, located in the Mojave Desert, wasn't meant to be lethal to its inhabitants. Vault Tech put a bunch of scientists in a facility with plant life to experiment on, and the scientists did what scientists do, in the Fallout universe that is. They designed a fungus that was meant to be used as pest control, but had a nasty habit of infesting human brains and turning them into aggressive spore zombies. Whoops. Vault 22 has some...
Dude, I've died in this vault so many times. I'll never forget the first time I played in like New Vegas. It was in what year did Vegas come out? 2010, and I went in there to find Keeley, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And because there was man, what's the weapon in there? The AE. I can't think of it. I cannot think of it. But she's like the green laser. I always love the laser rifles. That's another one I should do. Just like tier list of best weapons in the game. But yeah, that vault is so beautiful though. Like it's beautiful because it's like all these colorful plants and you got the giant Venus flytraps trying to kill you every now and then. But then like it's once you get like to like that I think it might be the second or so level or something like that. Because you can take the elevator down once you go in. It's been so long since I've been in that vault, specifically because I'm like, bro. But yeah, like the first time I ever interacted with one of like the spore people, I got absolutely slapped the hell up. Like that scared the shit out of me.
Seriously good loot in it, like the AER-14 prototype.
I was just talking about this.
Fans out there. But be prepared to get jump scared by a few plant dudes as you make your way around.
Just said the same thing.
Vault 34 is another Mojave Wasteland vault and is the historical home of the Boomers faction, as well as everyone's favorite, not actually a ghoul, Chris Haversam. Once again, Vault Tech thought it would be a great opportunity for some social experimentation. What would happen, the scientists pondered, if we gave the vault dwellers a lot of guns and very little living space?
One argument of that, like, you have to live on edge 24/7. You can never not be without your weapon. You can never have your weapon on safe. Because imagine you go into, like, the commons area or the cafeteria to eat, and then someone, like, steps on your foot. You can just blast on them. And then that's just going to start a chain reaction, because it's like, oh, well, you killed my friend, so now I got to kill you. And, oh, wait, you were somebody else's friend. It's like, this one is, dude, the vaults are so interesting because of the lore behind them, and that they were all, like, experiments. Like, they're so cool to think about, man. Scary as hell, though. A lot of them. Once you get it, like, you dive deep, you're like, bro, this is terrifying.
Overseer sensed this setup would cause problems because literally of course it was going to, and had a lock installed on the armory. Rioting eventually broke out as residents demanded access to the weaponry, and some residents stormed the exit, leaving the vault behind for good. The Overseer locked the door to prevent anyone else from leaving, but unfortunately the overpopulation problem didn't leave either. The residents attempted to overthrow the Overseer, and their efforts to do so resulted in damage to key parts of the vault, including the nuclear reactor. The reactor leaked radiation throughout the vault. The citizens' fates were as sealed as the vault door. But hey, this spot's got some cool guns, so,
yep,
good luck in there. A vault filled with the world's best musicians seems like it would be a wonderful place to spend the apocalypse. Unfortunately, Vault-Tec has made it clear that they don't really value the arts. Though it was billed as a safe haven for musical talent, Vault 92 was actually an experiment in white noise and its mind control capabilities. The scientists piped low-frequency combat suggestions through the practice spaces and living quarters. It didn't take long before one of the musicians was driven to madness, murdering 3 others in a bloody rage. Security attempted to stop him, and it took 23 gunshot wounds before he was finally put down. Incidents like this continue to crop up, and to make matters worse, the vault was actively deteriorating due to its close proximity to an underground water source. Ultimately, half the vault's residents succumbed to the mental deterioration caused by the white noise. The rest struggled for survival as the vault and the people within crumbled in harmony. Don't feel too bad though, they can't have been like that good at music. I mean, everyone in this universe listens pretty exclusively to music that's literally 300 years old. The new stuff must have been so bad that, perhaps, these people did in fact deserve death.
I mean, this is true. I do agree with the sentiment there. However, isn't that the vault where you go for Agatha? For the violin? I'm pretty sure that's the vault where you go. What was that? Was that 92? I'm pretty sure that's the vault. Agatha's song. I actually just started recently playing Fallout 3 just on my PlayStation 3, just off record. And I didn't know that there were so many scraps of sheet music all around the wasteland. I have like 3 on like the playthrough I'm doing right now, where I was just like chilling and was just walking and was like, oh, look at that piece of paper, that looks weird. I was like, sheet music. And then I found it and I was like, holy crap, like this is actual sheet music, and it's worth like 40 caps if you try to sell it, but obviously you shouldn't. I was just like, holy, I just didn't know that. I thought that was like super cool. Like, I played Fallout 3, I'm not even lying, I beat that game. That game's almost 20 years old. I've probably beat it 20 times. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Welcome to Vault 108, a
Vault
true
92.
paradise.
Oh my God.
Or should I say, Garadise? The premise of the experiment in this one centered on leaving all standard positions unfulfilled to be assigned by the Overseer, a man with a rare form of cancer, which meant he would die just 3 years after the start of the experiment. This lack of oversight resulted in a cloning experiment gone roughly the way you'd expect a cloning experiment in this environment to go. Scientists kept cloning a man named Gary, and every successive clone became more and more violent against non-clone.
Like, they got a bunch of Garys outside of the vault, bro. No way. Wait, is this a bunch of Garys? That looks like it says 101. That doesn't look like it says 108.
If the lone wanderer happens upon this particular vault, they'll discover a scene that implies a horrific turn of events. No non-clones remain in the vault. Just God. Gary. And just also Gary. And Gary. And, oh, look, another Gary. Physically, Vault 112 is in the Capital Wasteland.
Gary is terrifying. I'm gonna need Fallout 5 to bring Gary back. Like, give me some sort of Easter egg to Gary. Like, any sort of Easter egg. That can literally That's what they should do in the Fallout TV show. Could you imagine that? Like, imagine Lucy and the ghoul are just walking. And then there's just this Gary. Just like, maybe not even like something, like a subtle hint. Just a subtle hint. It doesn't even have to be, he doesn't have to be in a 108 jumpsuit. He can literally just be walking, but you actually have like the voice actor for Gary in the show. And then he like meets them and they say like, oh, what's your name? And he says, Gary. And he says, I come from a vault too, or something like that. And like, he's like the only sane one somehow. Like, man, that would be insane.
Actually,
won't happen, but that would be
in the Matrix.
Crazy.
One
this
of the last vaults to
trippy.
be constructed, Vault 112 was intended for just 85 dwellers, who would all be suspended in a supposedly idyllic virtual reality world for the duration of the experiment.
That's where you find
Under the
Liam
control
Neeson.
of Overseer Dr. Stanislaus Braun, the virtual reality simulators placed residents in the utopia of Tranquility Lane, a classic suburban neighborhood that would be at home in an episode of Leave It to Beaver. Or maybe The Twilight Zone. What participants in this experiment didn't realize was that once they entered the virtual reality pods, Braun would be completely in charge. They wouldn't even be able to leave on their own if they so desired. Braun terrorized the dwellers, often appearing in the simulation as a young girl named Betty in order to torment them up close and personal. He kills them, wipes their memories, brings them back, and kills them again. At one point, he even enlists the lone wanderer to help him out. Of course, whether the wanderer goes along with his gruesome side quests or puts the residents of Tranquility Lane out of their misery is up to the player. Let's just say karmically, helping Braun is considered
Tammy, no.
really bad.
Tammy,
It's an
no.
understatement to say that Vault 75 has...
Okay. If you do Tranquility Lane, and I want you guys to comment down below, and I am very curious about this. Who is the bad guy in Tranquility Lane? Is it, and I'm about to do this, who is the bad guy in Tranquility Lane? Is it the doctor, or is it you? Who is the bad guy in Tranquility Lane? Think about what I'm saying. Go back into your memory banks and think about all outcomes of Tranquility Lane. Who is the bad guy at the end of it? Is it you, or is it the doctor?
a dark backstory. This particular vault, located under Malden Middle School in the Commonwealth, was supposed to provide shelter to the teachers, parents, and students of the school itself. When the Great War came in 2077, everyone made it to the vault in time, but the adults were separated from the children and immediately executed by security personnel. The children were then subjected to grueling tests, with only the strongest being allowed to live. When they became adults, those who passed the rigorous tests were then harvested for their good genes, and the cycle continued. All in the hopes of
check it out!
perfecting
Look at that shit! That's what I was just talking about. A Gary reference. That literally says Gary on the blocks. I fucking love a good Gary reference,
genetics.
man. I was just
Eventually, some of the kids rebelled, escaping the vault to form the Gunners. So that's a small ray of hope there, depending on how you feel about the Gunners.
Right.
Yeah, this one was pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
The next one, is also bad. Vault 11 is what happens when a Vault Techian reads Shirley Jackson's The Lottery and decides to put their own special stink on it. There was no overseer in Vault 11, so the residents were told they had to elect one every year. The only trouble with this particular neighborhood election was that whomever was elected would be sacrificed at the end of their year-long term. The vault dwellers were told that if they did not elect an overseer, they would all be killed by the vault computer. Several voting blocks emerged as different factions within the vault jockeyed for control, but also to stay out of the hot seat. The real truth was that if the dwellers refused to nominate anyone, Vault Tech would play a message commending them for their commitment to human life, and no one would be killed. Unfortunately, by the time this was discovered, only 5 Vault 11 residents remained. If the courier decides to pay this particular locale a visit, they'll discover just 4 skeletons at the entrance. One of the remaining dwellers chose to venture into the wasteland, but the others could not live with what they'd done. Yeah, listen, Vault-Tec was a really bad company. They treated human life like it was expendable and, perhaps worse, didn't seem particularly committed to the scientific method. But if you're feeling despair looking at all these bleak backstories, just remember, we'll always have the Gary Vault. Now that's a great freaking vault.
Oh my god, bro, stop. Dude, stop. Come on, bro. Dude, I swear to God, I don't watch these videos before I upload. I swear to you, I don't. Like, that's so funny because I was just talking about like how Vault 108 is like literally the best vault ever, bro. It's so funny. It's so creepy. the last vault that we talked about was insane. Like, what was that? Which one was that one? I forget. But it is crazy. When I heard the lore of that like 2-3 years ago, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it blew my mind. It blows my mind. But yeah, like that, the democracy vault, that one is crazy. To have figured out that they didn't have to do it the entire time. Like, the entire time. So they have been going through the cycle of years upon years upon years of just killing people for no reason at all. It is insane. So insane.
Interested in venturing out of the vaults and exploring the rest of Fallout's world? Check out our look at Fallout's lore, plus our review of the Fallout television series, only on Gamespot.
I might do that, actually. So, let me know down below which vault out of the 11 that we just did was the scariest. Which one would you have wanted to go into? Honestly, I probably, out of all the ones I think I would have been able to stay in, realistically, I think the plant one. I like the plant one. The Gary one, nah. I'm one CJ of against what, 2,000 Garys? Like, come on, man. Tranquility Lane's terrifying. No, the democracy one, they probably would have elected me and then they would have killed me. The musical one's probably halfway decent. The whole white noise and mind control thing is a little terrifying, but I mean, hey man, you give me a guitar and I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. But yeah, so maybe the plant one. The plant one would have been alright, I suppose. I think I could have survived for a little while until, yeah, like one of the spore creatures like absolutely ripped me apart. I don't know. But let me know down below, which one do you think that you would have liked the most? Which one do you think that you would have been the most successful in, and which one was the scariest, for sure. And I got a bunch of ideas for more things I want to do with this channel. As you can see, this channel is very leaning toward a lot of Fallout stuff because I've wanted to do Fallout stuff for a while, but obviously we're still gonna do like update videos and stuff for game titles like Call of Duty and Battlefield 6. So other than that, please like, comment, hit the subscribe button, and head over to the main channel, which is CJ Coastal, and drop a subscribe over there as well. Other than that, thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys on the next one whenever I make it.